Coming up on your right-hand side is a Delta L-1011 aircraft we modified for film and video production. This plane flew in Delta's fleet for just over 10 years. Before they retired it, Disney took it over, used it on Soundstage 3 for Wesley Snipes' film Passenger 57. It was also used on Soundstage 2, with co-starring with Bill Murray and Gina Davis in the film Quick Change. Off to your left is the scenic shop where carpenters create and maintain all of our sets. They built lots of sets for all different types of television shows that we had here filming at the studios, such as Let's Make a Deal, Pat Sajak and Vanna White's Wheel of Fortune, Ed McMahon's Star Search, Separate but Equal, starring Burt Lancaster, WCW Wrestling, and our driver's favorite show, Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. At the special effects water tank you saw earlier on the tour, saw a little demonstration on how special effects are done above the water surface. We have another tank here on the backlot of this green tent on your left. This is our underwater special effects tank. It was originally created for Terry Hogan's series, Thunder in Paradise. It's a large swimming pool ranging from 4 to 16 feet deep. The bottom, however, is painted and sculpted to look like the bottom of the ocean floor. This provides us with a safer and more controllable atmosphere to shoot in, rather than nature. The next portion of the tour here is called Residential Street. You might want to take a closer look at some of these houses before you make up your mind whether you'd like to move into a neighborhood here in Walt Disney. Take a look onto this first house on your right. You'll notice it has no backs or insides. None of these homes do. They're called facades or false fronts. Kind of gives a new meaning to the term open house. Since different scripts call for different neighborhoods, each one of these homes was designed to reflect different styles of American architecture. The second house coming up on the right, number 242, that was used by Jim Varney when he was here filming his movie Ernest Saves Christmas. This was the very first full-length feature film here at the Disney MGM Studios way back in 1988. That was a full year before the park opened. When production crews travel from cities and towns to film, they often encounter lots of things that they can't control, like crowds, traffic, or weather. That's why they like to shoot right here on backlot sets like this, because they can get around those kind of problems. Here's some houses you might recognize. For 7 Emmy Award-winning seasons, this beige Hawaiian-style home on your left was home to the Golden Girls, Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia. All the exterior shots for the Golden Girls are filmed right here on the studio backlot. That was then edited together with interior footage shot on a soundstage out in Burbank, California. The blue house on the left is my personal favorite. It's the home to Alice in the Disney Channel's Adventures in Wonderland educational series. Across the street to the right is the 2-story facade used for the Weston's home from the hit sitcom from Touchstone Television, Empty Nest. This next home coming up on the end of the street is not your typical suburban home, and I bet you don't have one like this in your neighborhood. It's the Jungle Tree House of George from Disney's movie George of the Jungle, starring Brendan Fraser and Leslie Mann. Check out the theme music as we drive by. George, George, George of the Jungle lives a life that's free. Watch out for that tree. When he gets his weight, he makes his escape. He never from his friend, and ain't named. Now on to your left is our New York Street set. Don't worry about missing any pictures of this set right now. We'll do mine later on in the tour. There are lots of nice photo opportunities inside that set. Right now we're coming up into an area called the Boneyard. This is where we keep all of our props until they're needed on the set for their next production after they've been chased, shot, or blown completely apart. Coming up on the corner, you'll see a large section of a C-123 cargo plane. This was featured in Walt Disney Pictures' Operation Dumbo Drop. Now the rest of the plane was shipped off to Los Angeles for the making of Con Air, starring Nicolas Cage. All the small solar-powered vans were in the film Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, starring Rick Moranis. The vintage cars are from the movie Dick Tracy, starring Warren Beatty, Al Pacino, and Madonna. The long black speedboat was custom built for a very short TV series titled Disney Presents the 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage. The military missile was used in an episode of Thunder in Paradise starring Terry Hogan. And all the military vehicles were used by director Steven Spielberg in his film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now take a look at the treads, the tank's treads as we pass by. They're actually made of foam rubber rather than metal. It makes it a lot safer on our stunt actors, especially Harrison Ford, who liked to do a lot of his own stunts. Our next series of props is from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The 3 blue sedans are part of a series of 7 used to show progressive stages of destruction to one car. This menacing machine is the Toontown Bitmobile, and the trolley car is actually a modified city bus. The steel wheels are nothing more than fiberglass covers that hide the tires. The two spaceships are from the movie Starship Troopers, and the blue helicopter cockpit from Roy Scheider's Blue Thunder. The two model airplanes are from The Rocketeer, and the battered bobsled was in the movie Cool Runnings, starring John Candy. The two police cars are from the Blade Runner movie, starring Harrison Ford. These two boxes were by the submarine in Crimson Tide, starring Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. The Blue Barracuda, the fishing boat, and the airboat were in the film Gone Fishing, starring Joe Pesci and Danny Glover. Take a look off to your right now across the canal, and you'll get a real backstage view of all the homes on Residential Street. Notice how the architectural details, like the shingles on the roof, stop just outside of the camera's range. And that's because we only build what the camera needs to see. It's an old Hollywood production trick called saving money. Just in front of us is the largest standing set we have on property. How are we doing up there, Mike? Okay, great. We're going to be able to take you inside that set. They're probably on a break right now. Anyway, we're going to be going over a bumpy bridge, so make sure you keep a firm grip on all your loose items you might be carrying. And please remember to stay seated at all times. This canyon set was modeled after an actual canyon out in Southern California. It took over 6 months for the production crew to build. Now, 6 months may seem like a lot of time for just one set, but when you consider how long it takes Mother Nature to make the real canyon, that doesn't quite seem so bad. All right, folks, it looks as though the production crew is not around anywhere. We'll stop here for just a little while. You can take some pictures out and tell us some more little known behind-the-scenes facts about our canyon set. Just above the rocks above your head is where we put our cameras so that we can shoot down into the set. And the tanker truck you see off to your left was a prop in the boneyard. It has an engine and it's perfectly drivable. There's no road to drive it straight into the middle of the ravine. I would like to remind you to please stay seated while we're in the canyon set here. Sir, you will need to remain seated, please. Gentlemen in the second car, you will need to remain seated, please. Okay, now this is the new rain effect they were creating earlier today, created with high-pressure rainstorms located above us. They choose the water outward in a crisscross pattern to give it a more natural look as it's falling. We only shoot it about 15 feet outside the canyon. Notice how the tanker truck is not getting wet. No, wait, Mike, what's going on here, buddy? Okay, folks, it looks as though the production crew is not taking a break. We've made a slight mistake. Everybody just hang on, and we'll have you out here. Small yellow pipes carry all the gas for the fires and explosions. The larger white pipes carry all the water for the flash flood. That flash flood was created when we opened the gates of 3 large holding tanks on top of the canyon, sending 17,000 gallons of water thundering towards our shuttle. Got a little more action to the scene. Some of the water was pumped in through high-powered air cannons. This gave the illusion that the water was actually bouncing off the rocks.